expressed concern that the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation saddled with ensuring the audit of all ministries, departments and agencies of government is itself without an independent body to assess its financial records. Lami Ali, NTA News.
To education matters now. Without the protection of education, a child's right to learning cannot be guaranteed in conflict zones, and out-of-school children become easy targets of abuse, violence and recruitment by armed groups. Elizabeth Omori reports on the rights of children to education from the perspective of the United Nations Day to protect education from attack.
The International Day to Protect Education from Attack is an observance established by a unanimous decision of the United Nations General Assembly in 2020. Slated for the 9th day of September yearly, the commemoration aims at drawing global attention to attacks on students, teachers, and educational institutions during conflicts. Available data by the United Nations reveal that more than 22,000 students, teachers, and academics were injured, killed, or harmed in attacks during conflict over the past 5 years. And between 2015 and 2019, 93 countries experienced at least one reported attack on education. These critical players in education attribute to poverty, insecurity, lack of political commitment to education, and extremism. The General Assembly's resolution emphasizes the need to intensify efforts to promote safe and protective school environments in humanitarian emergencies by taking all measures to protect schools, students, pupils, and educational personnel from attacks. It is worthy to note that Nigeria is one of the countries to endorse the Safe Schools Declaration to strengthen protection of children and education in conflicts. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I have with me in the studio the Education in Emergency Officer, UNICEF at national level, Judith Giwa Amu. Thanks for joining us to discuss this very important aspect.
My pleasure.
Now, but before I ask you questions, I just want to begin a bit on the Nigerian situation as voiced by children from Borno State, worst hit by insurgency in northeastern Nigeria. The school children describe attacks on schools as a violation of their rights as well as humanity. The children, who are appreciative of the efforts of government and some partner agencies in ensuring access to quality education, however, appeal to government and other stakeholders to ensure their yearnings and aspirations are met.
To be employed, we need more teachers to be faith on them. We also need more chairs, more books, and uniforms for our students.
We don't want our school to be used as military camps.
We want the government help to protect our education from attack by enlightening our teachers and parents to enroll us to school. And also, we want gender-segregated toilets in the school.
I want the government to provide enough schools for students and enough facilities for students so that there will be convenient learning.
Now, Madam Giwa, you've heard the comments of some of those young ones. Now, against this backdrop and considering this is the second in the series, how effective has the campaign against attacks against education been so far?
It's been quite, I would like to say it's been quite effective, but more so now than ever before, because as part of the Safe School Declaration Global Treaty, which it specifies that states, which is countries that sign on to the commitment, undertake very drastic action to ensure that education is protected from attack.
Now, in what ways would you say this development has affected the interest of students and other stakeholders?
Well, this brings to light what Nigeria is doing compared to the other countries in the world. And basically, other countries are taking, some steps. Nigeria is also trying, is being guided by a plan of action for the Safe School Declaration, and a policy has been developed and passed. This policy is actually giving a legal backing for domestication at the school and state levels. Prior to this, other members of the Education Emergencies Working Group had undertaken some action to keep schools safe and secure. But this is now a national and a global effort being, mustered by the world.
Now, I mean, speaking of this global effort, now we are aware that UNICEF has always supported and collaborated with the federal government. How this synergy, how has it impacted the education sector?
Okay, so UNICEF and the government work together to support education in emergencies coordination. So what this means is that the government is on the lead, specifically Federal Ministry of Education. UNICEF is co-lead, and what UNICEF does is to guide, on certain key strategic actions that need to be taken towards responding or mitigating attacks on education. So UNICEF has basically worked with the Ministry of Education because it doesn't have its own program. It supports the government of Nigeria.
So finally, what are the long-term effects of attacks on education in such areas like the Northeast?
Okay, so attack on education is talking about attacks on children, learners, teachers, educational personnel, and buildings. So the long-term effect is that the trauma, the psyche of children that have been traumatized, maybe they've been abducted. By the time they come back, they are not able to. Sometimes, if we're not careful, they are not, and education now becomes endangered because some people don't want to go into education. And we know that the development of any country is hinged upon the number of educated youth and people. So, one, children will not go to school. Two, their psychosocial health, their mental health and psychosocial support needs need to be addressed. And then also, some have effects of kidnap, such as sexual-based violence and all those memories. Some people are recruited as part of military non-state actor groups, and that truncates. And then at the end of the day, you see that illiteracy comes in. It sets in because a lot of children are not going to go back to school out of fear for what has happened.
Thank you very much. I'd have loved to ask you more questions, but I'm afraid we have to join our Just Networks Center. I've been speaking to Judith Giwa Amu, Education in Emergency Officer, UNICEF. Over to you, Frama.
Hello, Najatu. Glad to have you join us here in Jos. Plateau State Government has given approval for the procurement and supply of hospital equipment for Kanke and Langtan North General Hospitals to the tune of more than 1 billion naira. These and other key decisions were reached at the State Executive Council meeting, which was presided over by Governor Samuel Lalong. Priscilla Grumnan reports.
The State Executive Council meeting gave approvals for a bill to establish the Plateau State Erosion and Watershed Management Agency, variation for ongoing construction of 6.6 kilometer Angorogo Road network and bridge at the cost of more than 300 million naira.
We all know that Plateau State is located on the highland, and because of that, erosion activities are always very robust. Even though the Ministry for Environment has a department, but we feel having an agency, an independent agency, to look at those issues, that we can have issues of erosion and watershed management being coordinated more if a separate agency is created.
Also want to put on record with the award of contract. It is for the supply and installation of hospital equipment at Kwal in Kanke local government, the cost of 957,285,059 naira 48 kobo.
Commissioner for Information says a valedictory session held for 3 commissioners who resigned their appointments to contest chairmanship seats. The outgone commissioners appreciate the government for the opportunity given them to serve the state, pledging to continue to contribute their quota to its development. In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
Plateau State has received its second batch of 22,000 880 doses of AstraZeneca vaccine, as well as 60,004 doses of the modern vaccine for COVID-19. Sa'adatu Mohammed Kafa has an update.
The commencement of the second phase of COVID-19 vaccination, which began on the 1st of this month, will last till 20th. Unlike the past, this time, two types of vaccines, Moderna vaccine and the AstraZeneca vaccine, are available.
The number of people that has been vaccinated so far for the AstraZeneca, which is for the second dose, those that have taken the first jab, so they are now taking the second jab. So currently we have vaccinated 4,491 people entirely for that. So, and then for the Moderna, as of now, Plateau State has been able to immunize 11,581.
Through social mobilization activities and sensitization by the State Primary Healthcare Development Board, people have been availing themselves for the vaccination.
I'm convinced that there's COVID-19, and in order to take precaution, it is better I take the vaccine, not to wait for it to come to me.
They have asked us to take the vaccine. It is important that everybody takes it because it's for the benefit of all.
People are beginning to value the importance, even though we still have some people that are so hesitant, but that does not mean that we should stop sensitizing them from taking it.
Stakeholders are advising the public to disregard speculation from social media that the vaccines are harmful. In Jos, Sa'adatu Mohammed Kafa, NTA News.
That's it from Jos. Nationwide continues with Hingino in Lagos after this break.
The government has commenced second phase of COVID-19 vaccination. If you are 18 years and above and unvaccinated, register at www.nphcda.vaccination.gov.ng. Visit the nearest vaccination site to receive AstraZeneca or Moderna COVID-19 vaccine as first dose. If you received your first dose of AstraZeneca vaccine before 8th July, get your second dose now. All COVID-19 vaccines are free and certified safe. At the vaccination site, you can check blood pressure and know your diabetes risk status. Children aged 0 to 23 months will receive childhood vaccines and screened for malnutrition. After vaccination, continue to adhere to COVID-19 prevention protocols. For more information, visit www.nphcda.gov.ng or call 0700-220-1122. This message is from the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
We're glad to know you're still there. Motorists plying Nigeria roads have been advised to adhere strictly to the minimum standard on carriage of passengers and goods and comply with other safety regulations. The Lagos State Sector Commander of the Federal Road Safety reiterated this while speaking on the course preparedness as the Ember month set in. Diana Ajale reports.
The longest unresolved debate in road crashes management in Nigeria is whether the high rates of casualties usually experienced during the Ember months is a matter of myth or reality. But the actual fact is that it is a period of the year when various activities are on the increase, including movement of goods and services. In my effort to get answer, I interacted with road users and drivers over changing the perceived myth to the reality of embracing caution.
If you don't caution yourself, anything will happen. Okada will cross your road or passenger will cross your road for your front. So all those things, person must get patient.
Check their tires, the brakes, all the things that could cause any havoc on the road. We've been, advising our drivers about that.
Data from the National Bureau of Statistics shows that between July and September 2020, no fewer than 1,229 deaths occurred due to road carnage, speed violation, improper overtaking, impatience, bad conditions of vehicles, among others, were some of the factors identified as causes of road accidents. To this end, the Federal Road Safety Corps personnel are out to ensure motorists adhere to traffic rules and regulations put in place by relevant authorities in order to change the tide.
Any moment we are out this period and we see a vehicle that is overloaded, we are going to discharge all the extra passengers. All what we want to keep is the law, the health of the vehicle, the status of the road, and the health of the passengers.
The Federal Road Safety Corps says it will not relent in ensuring that safety of lives and property is guaranteed, especially with increase in vehicular activities as the last quarter of the year is here. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
The Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, is upholding the code of professionalism in its news reportage and programming with a view to educating, informing, and entertaining its heterogeneous audience. In the light of this, the largest television broadcast network station in Africa has bagged an award of excellence. Abolade Salami reports.
It's no gainsaying that Africa's largest television network station, the NTA, occupies the front seats in news dissemination with facts and figures. As a television broadcast station that prioritizes rich content in all of its programming, the NTA over time has remained the main source of news channel for millions of Nigerians. The reputation of the organization, both home and abroad, has earned it several awards, commendations, and point of reference.
As you can see, the title of the award is to do with promoting excellence in Nigeria. NTA is known for that, and that's why we are getting this award for the DG. And that goes to show how NTA is supporting every effort any Nigerian or any Nigerian company is doing towards promoting what is Nigeria and its development.
While other individuals were recognized for their contribution to societal development and ambassadors of peace, the need for all to inculcate morals and values in whatever they do as patriotic Nigerians was emphasized.
The leaders who want to write their names into history, and so we create monuments, we create institutions that will stand in their names and for which posterity we remember them.
Leaders at all strata were urged to be advocates of change. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
You're still watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. It's now time to go back to Naja'atu in Abuja. Naja'atu?
Thank you, Hingino. Campaigns for the November 6th Anambra governorship election are on, and the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, is appealing to security agencies to put in their best to ensure violent-free campaigns. Professor Yakubu made the appeal at the quarterly consultative meeting with security agencies in Abuja.
All 18 political parties are fielding candidates in the election, and campaign by parties and their candidates has already commenced. As you are aware, our state office in Oka was attacked, resulting in extensive damage to the building and the destruction of critical facilities for the election. I am glad to report that we have made arrangement to replace all lost movable materials. Similarly, we are making efforts to rebuild the physical facilities which will be completed before the election.
With the prevalence of security threat occasioned by different dissident separatist groups in the southern regions of the country, who are bent on scuttling effort of government in achieving national cohesion and undermining the democratic processes in the country, the federal government of Nigeria will not tolerate any group or persons planning to impede smooth conduct of elections.
Still on leadership and elections, the Director General of the All Progressives Congress Governors Forum, Salihu Muhammad Lukman, says Nigerians need to rise above cheap campaigns of ethnic politics now being used to promote hatred in the country. In a statement on Nigerian democracy and the challenges of nation building, Salihu Lukman says leaders who inspire national hope should be celebrated in the country, and political parties should take steps to recruit those leaders into politics for national development. The APC Governors Forum Director General says the only way that Nigerian democracy can facilitate nation building is when political leaders are able to graduate from being champions of small group interests to being torchbearers of common purpose and promoters of strong national bond. Meanwhile, the 93rd National Executive Committee meeting of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, is ongoing at the party's National Secretariat in Abuja. The major agenda of the meeting is the party's forthcoming National Convention, the November 6th governorship election in Anambra State, and ultimately the 2023 general elections. The National Campaign Council for the forthcoming Anambra governorship election has also been inaugurated. The governor of Abia State, Okezie Ikpeazu, is chairman of the National Campaign Council. Details will come in our subsequent bulletin. Meanwhile, the people of Ebonyi State have expressed their readiness to aggressively embrace the ongoing voter registration. This was at an awareness campaign to reawaken their consciousness in that direction. Kanayo Okoro reports.
Statistics from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, shows that Ebonyi State has the least participants in the online continuous voter registration exercise in the country. Touched by this ugly trend, a non-governmental organization, Ebele Anyuchu's Foundation, sought to create awareness on the need for the people to get registered in order to participate actively in the 2023 election.
Be rest assured you have your PVC tomorrow. Public governance is an issue that all hands have to be on deck.
Is to sensitize the Ebonians on the need for them to get registered.
The best thing is that people should be able to sensitize them to know their rights. That Ebonyi State today, we still have less than 15,000, online completed registered voters. And without us registered proper, it will be difficult for us to actually contribute to the change of society by having our leaders we think they will represent us very well.
Without their card, they will not be able to make their choice of a candidate.
It is expected that people's apathy to electioneering process will reduce with campaigns as this. In Abakaliki, Kana Yokoro, NTA News.
Jenny is now standing by in our Port Harcourt Network Center for more on Nationwide. Over to you, Jenny.
Thank you very much, Najatu. To clarify some grey areas on the recent judgment by the Federal High Court on the value-added tax, And the stance of the Rivers State government on the issue. Governor Nyesom Wike had an interactive session with corporate bodies, financial institutions, international oil companies, and business entities operating in the state. Ogedi Nyekwe reports that the meeting held at Government House, Port Harcourt.
The meeting at the instance of the governor was with the representatives of all corporate bodies, financial institutions, international oil companies, business entities, and others operating in the state to brief them on the recent court judgment by the Federal High Court affirming the Rivers State government the constitutional right to collect the value-added tax, VAT, and other related taxes in the state.
VAT collected in the Rivers State was 15.1 billion. In the month of June, right? Do you know what they gave us? 4.8 billion. Give me what the law says I should take. Take your own. If I misappropriate my own, I'll misapply it. And then I come and beg you. You say, no. I think you're collecting your money. Why are you coming to beg us?
The governor said that the State Tax Appeal Commission will be inaugurated on Friday. The governor also drew attention to the alarming rate of transmission of COVID-19 following the daily figures released by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, and the need for citizens to continually observe the COVID-19 safety protocols. Governor Wike reiterated that the ongoing demolition of shanties will continue until sanity is restored to the environment for a better sense of comfort and security for all. In Port Harcourt, Ogedi Nyekwe, NTA News.
To meet President Muhammadu Buhari's target of making agriculture an alternative to oil, creating food sufficiency and reducing hunger in the country, the need for government to invest in agricultural infrastructure has been brought to the fore. Cross River State Governor Ben Ayade stated this while at the inspection of an irrigation system at the Ayade rice farms at Obanliku local government area. Paul Abel reports.
The federal government, through the Central Bank of Nigeria, has made available various channels to assist farmers, such as the Anchor Borrower Scheme, among others, towards achieving food sufficiency in Nigeria. Apart from spearheading the agro-industrialization policy, Governor Ben Ayade is also into Irish potato farming, beef from cattle for export, as well as the Ayade rice farm. The cultivation of rice needs lots of water, and this inspection is to utilize water from a natural source and make artificial rains for the rice farm.
So with the HDP lining, we can be able to retain water and redistribute by gun rent technique across the entire farm size. That way we have sufficient rice harvest to support both the Ogoja rice mill as well as the Ayade rice mill. And the intention is to support the Buhari agri policy on having an alternative to the oil industry, to be able to create food sufficiency, food adequacy, and of course reduce the issues associated with hunger and starvation and youth restiveness.
The venture is already providing employment opportunities for many youths, which will also reduce crime in the locality. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
And that's it from Port Harcourt. Nationwide will continue with Suleiman in Kaduna after the break.
Since coming into office in 2015, the Buhari administration has recorded unprecedented achievements in all sectors, especially in the provision of infrastructure, which is the key to economic growth. Never in the history of this country has any administration done so much with so little. I recall that when this administration came into office, the price of crude oil, which provides for 80% of Nigeria's budgetary revenues and 95% of foreign exchange earning, dropped drastically, thus reducing the amount of resources available to the federal government. In spite of this, the administration has continued apace with massive infrastructure developments.
This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
We are StarTimes, the most affordable digital pay TV platform with the widest signal coverage in Nigeria, dedicated to bringing the best TV entertainment around the world to your screen. From Hollywood to Bollywood to Nollywood, we offer the most affordable subscription. Enjoy over 75 channels for as low as 1,700 naira, like Nat Geo Wild, BBC, ESPN, and premium sport like Emirates FA Cup, La Liga, Bundesliga, wrestling. What's more exciting? We have the most flexible payment options in Nigeria. Don't dull. Join us now for an exciting journey. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
A new edition of TV Guide is out exclusively with Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State.
Since assuming office, our rescue administration has pursued the path of peace and reconciliation and restored confidence among people of different ethnic, religious, and political persuasions. Peace is back on the plateau. We are building world-class infrastructure in roads and opening up opportunities for innovation.
The edition is a compendium of mind-blowing stories for your reading pleasure, ranging from entertainment, economy, sports, media, politics, family, and lots more. Pick up a copy and keep abreast with issues and trending features within our space. TV Guide, very incisive, very educative and compelling. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or any NTA station nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
Network Center of the NTA. More than 5,000 households in Ikara local government area of Kaduna State are set to receive 30,000 naira each under the federal government's conditional cash transfer program over the next 6 months. The households have been captured as more beneficiaries come on board. Hadiza Jamilu is among the 4,470 beneficiaries of the federal government conditional cash transfer program in Ikara. Hadiza, like other beneficiaries from the poor and vulnerable households who have saved and ventured into petty businesses, have good stories to tell.
We are into many ventures. Example, we sell rubber, Ankara, granite cake, firewood. We also do tailoring in this cooperative.
Hawa Abdurazak is the unit head of Household Uplifting Program in Kaduna State.
We are paying the backlog of about 6 months to the beneficiaries of conditional cash transfer in Ikara local government. We are paying more than 5,000 beneficiaries today. 9
local government areas have already benefited from the program, and remaining 14 yet to benefit are due to be added so that socio-economic lives of the poor and vulnerable, like Hadiza, can be uplifted. The federal government's commitment towards reviving agriculture to guarantee food sufficiency and promote exports is getting the required support as the Ministry of Agriculture introduces to Nigerian farmers a new variety of orange fresh potato. Muhammad Umar Ajingi reports that potato farmers in Kaduna State are already being trained on new techniques of farming this new variety of potato seed.
Jado, like other potato farmers here, is receiving training on modern techniques of potato farming, processing, and marketing using a new variety of orange flesh potato.
The federal government is introducing Nigerian farmers to a new variety of potato seed. This one, the orange flesh potato.
Yeah, this vine that you are seeing is enriched and it's very cost. If the government did not come in, our farmers cannot access it very easily.
The orange flesh sweet potato, as per this forum say, has competitive advantage in both local and international markets.
It's very good in baking bread, very good in cake production. It's good for juice. You can make biscuit from it. You can make baby food from it. You can make soap from it. So many things. The leaves is also good as tea.
Hawa, a potato farmer who for years has been producing mainly for local consumption, is now set to package the product for export.
We are here to learn more on how to add value to the sweet potato value chain and probably start new products and package it more like this.
The training is expected to be conducted in other states of the Federation so that potato farmers like Jalu can embrace this rich seed to boost local production and export. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
Thank you, Muhammad Umar Ajingi. Najatu, take it away from here.
Thank you. And the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has been treated to a dinner before departing Cape Verde. The dinner was hosted by the Nigerian ambassador to Guinea-Bissau overseeing Cape Verde. Anthony Forson reports.
Ambassador John Usanga, who remained on the side of the Information and Culture Minister, Lai Mohammed, since the minister arrived in West African island, was with him all through deliberations as the meeting lasted. The ambassador, in a show of hospitality, John Usanga, hosted Lai Mohammed and his delegation to a dinner with certain words in a show of pride to be a Nigerian.
Because what I witnessed in SAL, your contributions to these discussions, the majority, the intelligence, the brilliance displayed, made me to be very proud as a Nigerian. It was more like everything revolved around you. Everybody was looking up to you, and whatever you said was carried, and that made me very proud. Even in your wisdom, some concessions were made for the benefit of smaller countries, which is what makes me proud as a Nigerian, that regardless of how small a country is, even if it's composed of 5 families, Nigeria will accord it its due respect.
Lai Mohammed said his pride in Nigeria knows no bounds.
To express my excitement with the way you look at your assignment. You are very passionate and you are determined to let Cape Verdeans and Guinea-Bissau people see largely the positive side of Nigeria. And I think that is the right way to go about it. There are no countries without challenges, especially when you have a country as big as Nigeria. And this is what we've been doing. But I must say that we've had a very successful and extremely successful conference, not just because of our presentation, but because some Nigerians have gone ahead of us to make our job even much easier.
Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Now to security matters. The Nigeria Police Trust Fund is partnering the Nigerian Security Printing and Minting Company in the attainment of its mandate of providing logistics for the police. Francis Fong reports.
The Nigeria Police Trust Fund recently engaged DICON, an indigenous manufacturing company, in the purchase of security equipment. This visit, therefore, is to further cement a good working relationship with the Security Printing and Minting Company for patronage in the printing of security documents and to further solicit the company's support in meeting the funding needs of the force.
Rest assured, the Nigeria Police Trust Fund will patronize this company in all the services that it can provide for the success implementation of our programs and activities for the benefit of the nation.
We have the capacity to print for Nigeria, and of course, we have even started discussing to see how we can be able to print for other West African nations, and we're willing and ready.
A partnership with 2 goals: to promoting confidentiality in the security system and government-to-government business for a growing economy. Francis from NTA News.
As part of measures to avert possible spillover of banditry activities in the state, the Jigawa State Security Council has approved the ban on movement of motorcycles from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the morning. This comes as the state experienced 2 kidnap cases. Awal Muhammad Kazouri reports.
Decision on the motorcycles operation came few days after a gang of suspected bandits stormed Taura town on motorcycles, firing shots and kidnapped a traditional title holder in the area. In an attempt to arrest the bandits and rescue the kidnapped victim, the police were ambushed and their operational vehicle set ablaze. The police command in the state says a team of operational personnel swung into action, apprehending some suspects.
At Galaga village, Eringim local government, 3 suspects were arrested, while at Pajangao Forest Gariki, 16 suspects were arrested. The following exhibits were recovered: 2 bow and arrows, 1 cutlass, 1 knife, 1 solar panel, 2 handsets, 2 charm bullet-proof jackets.
The command appealed to members of the public to support the police and other sister security agencies in maintaining the prevailing peace and security in the state. From Duse, Awal Muhammad Kazaure, NTA News.
The outbreak of COVID-19 has changed the face of many sectors of the economy, including livestock farming. But experts are optimistic that production and profit in livestock management can once again return if farmers adopt modern and new approaches to livestock management. Clement Barakui reports.
Nigeria's livestock production is estimated at 326.7 million annually, thereby contributing greatly to the nation's economy. But the outbreak of COVID-19 may have cut down this figure, hence the need for farmers to adopt best global practices as they battle to overcome the challenges of COVID-19 era. Among such measures, animal scientists say include use of quality feeds, ensuring high health standards, optimizing environmental conditions, and sound knowledge of market requirements.
Well, one way is for government to strengthen the extension services in their different states that will convey the technologies in agri development and livestock production to the farmers at the rural level.
Whether we like it or not, we must run away from peasantry agriculture. In other words, we must run away from extensive means or mode of livestock keeping in this country.
With Nigeria being an agrarian nation, effective livestock management in a COVID-19 era, the animal scientists say, is a sure way of food security in the country. In Uyo, Clement Barakui, NTA News.
And back in Abuja, the ongoing demolition of illegal structures within the Federal Capital Territory is as a result of distortion of the Abuja Master Plan. Shuaibu Noze Yakubu in this report takes a look at the position of the FCT administration on the sustained efforts aimed at addressing various infractions on the City Master Plan.
The Abuja Master Plan is a working document that guides the development of the nation's capital city. There have been contraventions over the years, resulting to the springing up of shanties and other illegal structures in the FCT. This worrisome trend necessitated the constitution of the Ministerial Task Team on City Sanitation by the FCT administration. Armed with the mandate of restoring sanity, the tax team has continued to pull down contravening structures that pose threat to the lives of residents.
Such shanties, as we always say, provide safe haven for crime and criminality to hibernate. And of recent, it has been observed that the number of growing shanties within the FCT is alarming. And this is not unconnected to the nature of migration from troubled areas that crisscross the entire country, and everybody feels that Abuja is a safer place to come and to live. So this bandwagon of movement carries along the good, the bad, and the ugly, which created such scenario.
Despite all warnings, despite all notices served by relevant departments, they still go ahead and develop without recourse to any. Or the last resort for the administration is to demolish.
To chart a way forward, a stakeholders meeting with some community leaders on the recent demolition in Ido community was held. Shuaibu,
Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Up next is Sports Update with Tamara Ibiwe.
The last batch of Team Nigeria athletes to the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games arrived in Nigeria Thursday. They were received by Olympic gold medalist Daniel Amakachi on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari.
They went, they didn't disappoint, and they came back. And you can see the reaction, from all the immigrations and what we had from them, even from the plane, and you can see from the supporters club. I think everybody's very happy.
Our intention was to go there and reset the record we kept there 2016. To God be the glory that we came out in a flying color.
In football, matches of the ongoing 2021 Nigeria National League Super 8 are rescheduled to continue on Friday, following a torrential rainfall on Wednesday, which led to the stoppage of the tie between Gombe United and DMD after 65 minutes. The remaining 25 minutes will be decided on Friday at 10 a.m., after which Bendel Insurance and Ekiti United file out. Games earlier fixed for Friday are now billed for Saturday, with DMD meeting El Kanemi Warriors. Remo Stars face Bendel Insurance. Ekiti United play 3SC, while Niger Tornadoes lock horns with Gombe United. The third place and final matches are now for Sunday.
We want to really apologize to the clubs for the inconveniences caused by nature, which is under the rule of force majeure in football, and hope that we can all get better. We also want to urge the clubs to keep behaving better.
And finally, in volleyball, caretaker committee chairman of the Nigeria Volleyball Federation, Musa Nimrod, has charged players as well as officials of the women's volleyball team to go all out and give Nigeria a good representation at the 2021 Africa Senior Volleyball Championship in Rwanda.
They will scale the first round, and I see them going very far in the competition.
Competition begins September 11. With sports updates, Tamara Ibiwe, NTA News.
The Emir of Kontagora in Niger State, Alhaji Saidu Namaska, is dead. He died at the age of 84 this Thursday at a medical facility in Abuja. Until his death, the Emir was the Vice Chairman, Niger State Council of Traditional Rulers. The monarch, who reigned for 47 years, was the 16th Sarkin Sudan of Kontagora and has been buried according to Islamic rites. On that note, we conclude nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Do remember to keep standing with NTA in the fight against rape and rapists. I'm Naja Atutijani.